Hi, gonna do another video just to talk about womb power class this week on Thursday, June 10th, 5 to 6:30 p.m. West Pacific time. And so this marks the beginning of our 4-week exploration with the sixth chakra. And we are coinciding this new adventure with the new moon happening Thursday morning, and it is an eclipse. So it's going to be pretty powerful initiating energy, new moon energy. And just wanted to say a little bit about the eclipse. It's happening in Mercury, 19 degrees Mercury. So it's good to see what you've got going. 19 degrees of Gemini. So it's good to see in your chart what you have at 19 degrees Gemini. I have Mercury and Venus in Gemini at 20 and 21 degrees of Gemini. So I have, and it's the top of my chart. It's sort of my career stuff. So I need to think about an intention around this class, for example, this work, and new work is coming in actually. So I'll be sharing about that another time. So very excited. And also there's a lot of other planets happening in Gemini at the same time as this eclipse. There's I think Mercury as well as Venus might be also in Gemini. And so all of this mental Gemini energy is going to be balanced by the square in Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces. So that's going to bring in a feeling aspect to this mental energy, which is perfect for our womb power exploration, where we track the sensations in the body as we're feeling what's occurring in the womb and the different chakras and the different parts of the body. We're using our mind to focus on the feeling, the sensation. So this eclipse energy is perfect for us, and it's going to be very intense and powerful, even more so than it already is. So this week we're working with the third eye, the sixth chakra, and that, okay, this is not playing, unfortunately. It's supposed to be a video. Oh, well. This is the brain from the front. And underneath the brain is the cerebellum. So this is a feminine part of the brain that we're going to play with as well, and explore more so in the rest of the next 3 weeks after. So the third eye is what we're going to be exploring, as well as the gut, the third chakra, the third eye and the third chakra. And so the gut is considered the second brain. So they have this connection of being considered brains. The gut actually produces 95% of the serotonin in our body and other neuron cells and neurotransmitters. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter, and it's also produced in the brainstem. The nervous system meets into the brainstem, and serotonin controls mood, digestion, memory, and a lot more. So the third eye is comprised of the pineal gland, and which makes hormones based on light, and the brain, the eyes, the sinus, and the nose. It's where we visualize. It's where our intuition lies, where our psychic powers are cultivated, how we connect to higher realms and beings and the divine, where we get our guidance, and how we connect to our purpose. And the solar plexus provides the fuel and the fire to make our purpose, to make it come alive, to follow our purpose, to do what we're here to do. So this is an important connection between sort of the lower, more human part of us in the solar plexus, and the more higher realm of the sixth chakra, but one is not better than the other. We need our more bodily aspect to actually connect to the divine. It's our vehicle, our body. So, the perfect person to for us to model is Sojourner Truth. She was a she was born a slave. Her name was Isabel when she was born, and she is the perfect person for us because she saw, she had visions and spoke to God, and Jesus in particular. And it was through her visions of Jesus and feeling his energy and his guidance that gave her the desire to free become free, to become an activist, to fight against slavery and to fight for women's rights. Um, so she's got this perfect connection between the third chakra and the sixth chakra for us to model after. And she was born in New York, and back in that time, the slaves only spoke Dutch, so English was her second language. And at 9 years old, she was separated from her family. There were 12 kids, and she was sold. And she got beaten because she didn't speak English. Um, and she got sold a few times before she was sold to the Dumont family. And they were physically abusive and sexually abusive to her. And she worked for them for 17 years, from age 14 to 31. It was pretty brutal. And her owner, he promised her that he would free her in 1928 when, or sorry, 1826 when they were getting ready to free slaves. And when time came around, he he reneged on his promise, and she stood there a while longer working for him, spinning 100 yards of yarn for like just she worked really, really hard. And she was alone there and had built her own temple of brush in the woods to communicate with God. And she probably learned that from her mother. It was an African tradition. And when this time came around where she was supposed to be freed, she talked to God, and he told her to walk away from slavery. And so she took her youngest daughter, Sophia, because the other children were still bonded until they were going to be 21, which is pretty nasty. So she had to walk. She was she had to escape, but she chose to walk because she felt that that was had more dignity, and God told her to walk. So she actually walked away. Um, she had to leave her children behind, her other children. And then not long after, she was back in the area, and she almost felt the pull to go back. That's how intense the fear was and all of that brutality. But she felt the presence of Jesus, and he calmed her spirit, and she chose not to go back. Um, so that was pretty intense. And then she found out that the Dumonts sold her son, Peter. And she was so enraged by that because that was illegal, apparently, at this point to do that. So she got the money to file a complaint, and this showed up in front of a grand jury, and she actually won. And this is the first time a Black woman won against a white man. This is a huge deal. So she is definitely, that third chakra is really fueling her to do these pretty big things. And then in 1843, she was called in spirit to be an itinerant preacher and to spread the message of embracing Jesus. She was really into Jesus. And she had a powerful voice and she had a Dutch accent. And she was very convincing and very, people listened to her. And then eventually in 1864, Lincoln asked to meet her, and they took this picture where he's showing her this book. Um, and then in the Civil War, she worked for the suffragette movement and met Susan B. Anthony. And then they parted ways. But here are some of the sayings that she is known to have said. She said, "That little man in black there, he says women can't have as much rights as men because Christ wasn't a woman." Where did your Christ come from? Where did your Christ come from? From God and a woman. Man had nothing to do with him. So, way to go, Sojourner. And she got her name actually from God, actually. At some point when she was preaching, she got the name Sojourner, and then she asked for a second name, and the second name was Truth, which is so awesome because we were just working with the fifth chakra and speaking your truth. So Sojourner is very connected between the sixth and the fifth and the third chakra. She's an amazing model for us. And if women want, there's another thing she said, if women want any rights more than they's got, why don't they just take them and not be talking about it? Which is awesome. Love that. And then she said, "I'm not going to die. I'm going home like a shooting star." Like, she's so cosmic. She's totally sixth chakra led. Another thing she said was, "Religion without humanity is very poor human stuff." Absolutely. So this is where she shifted by the end of her life and changed a little bit of her practice, became much more spiritual and not as focused on judgment. And her final, one of her most powerful uh, things she said was, "Truth is powerful and it prevails." So very excited to work with the third chakra and the sixth chakra and the inspiration of Sojourner Truth. I hope that you will join us, and you can connect with me, um, Michelle at michellewhiteheart.com if you're interested in coming. And I look forward to seeing you. Bye-bye for now.